One thing I noticed in the comments, a lot of people haven't even had a chance to think about it. My question to the audience was, what would you do if you had your basic needs met? And I wanted two types of answers. One, whatever came to your mind first. A lot of people said travel. The second thing I wanted to ask is, like, what would you do if you think about humanity and advancing humanity? What would you do if all you had to do was sit around and think about that all day? And the truth is, most of us have never been afforded the luxury, the unbelievable luxury of sitting around and thinking great thoughts. We've been too busy just trying to survive. And therein lies the problem with our entire society. I think I can finally get to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Let me put it on the screen. You learn about this in middle school. Physiological needs at the bottom: air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. We got to get that reproduction in there. Safety needs: personal, security, employment, resources, health, property. I really lump those first two together. Safety needs and physiological needs, those are critical. Love and belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. All these are critical. You can't really move to the next level without having the previous level. Esteem, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. We are human creatures after all, right? The idea that we don't need that green row is a lie. We need respect. We need self-esteem. We need status. We need recognition. We need strength. That's the ego. We need freedom. We need those things. And then self-actualization to become the most that one can be. Let me see if I can make this smaller so I can talk with this on the screen. Hang on. Can I do that? I'm going to do an old school news broadcaster over the shoulder. There we go. Anyway, the vast majority of our society is stuck in physiological needs. Just to get food, just to get water, just to have shelter. Where am I going to sleep tonight? Clothing and reproduction. Now, reproduction is a whole nother conversation, like where, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about tonight. Because there's some people, never mind, I'm about to clown a whole group of incels, but I'm not. That's not what this is about tonight. This is not about me attacking those. Anyway, the vast majority of society is stuck in physiological needs. Safety needs, personal security, employment, resources, health, property. Most of society is stuck at the bottom of this. Love and belonging. What's interesting about this is that most of us in any level of this, we try our best to still find some love and belonging, family, right? A sense of connection. In fact, most of us are stuck at the bottom of this pyramid. And while we can find love and belonging all up and down this pyramid, like the most obvious implication of this is that if the majority of our society is stuck trying to find employment, trying to find resources, trying to figure out how they're going to get their health taken care of, have absolutely no property, right? And then another half of our society is still struggling just for food and shelter, then how many of us are ever going to achieve self-actualization? How many of us are ever going to ascend? And if it is the case, like the individual said, I forgot his name, and I think he had like a maple leaf as an Abby rather. If it is the case that you have to be special just to overcome the overwhelming gravity of all these things at the bottom, and that gravity is like what pulls us down, those are choices in our society. I want to make sure I'm clear about this. I know we're in the weeds, but you've been with me this long, so we might as well finish it, right? These are policy choices. The fact that anybody is without water, that anybody is without food, that anyone is without shelter, that anyone is without clothing. I can't help you with reproduction, but the fact that anyone is without those things, that's a policy decision in a country that generates so many trillions of dollars in wealth, okay? So the gravity and the weight that is pulling people from the top, or the possibility of ever achieving the top, and it's constantly pulling us down, right? Like it's collapsing inside of a black hole. The weight of that gravity is so heavy that you can't escape. You can't worry about goddamn self-actualization when you ain't got no food. Hell, I couldn't worry about exercising when I couldn't pay my rent. When I was worried about how to pay my bills, I couldn't go out and go to the gym and it just wasn't, I just couldn't do it. So there's certain things that you simply cannot accomplish if you're stuck down here trying to worry about and figure out how you're going to pay your rent. Most of society is stuck down here. And they want us, they being the ruling elite, want us to celebrate the people who have made it to the top. But the reality of it is, the only reason they made it to the top is because they had all this stuff worked out before they even left their parents' house. They had all these things worked out before they ever graduated high school. They had all these things worked out long before they graduated college. Matter of fact, they didn't even have to go to college. Finger going the wrong way. Which finger? Anyway, you know where I'm pointing to. How the hell did I turn my finger around and get it? Hell, fuck. The point is this, is that we have a civilization that is built off of billions of people who are all struggling at the bottom of this hierarchy. We have a handful of people who have never had to worry about any of these things. And the only thing they've ever had to worry about is self-actualization. What is my contribution to humanity? Well, I think humanity would be pleasantly surprised and unbelievably rewarded if they gave everybody a chance to ask that question. What is my contribution to society? What is my contribution to humanity? That's a policy decision at this point. The reason I'm talking about this, everything is political. There is literally, let me get this off the screen so I can use my hands. There's absolutely no reason that we cannot make sure that every single person in this country has a place to eat, food, a place to live, food to eat, clothes on their back, a doctor, and a living wage, an income. I feel like I left some, an education. We generate enough wealth. While you are on that hamster wheel running in circles, you're generating that wealth. While you're watching this video, you're generating wealth. Not for me, except for the super chats, which, by the way, I apologize I didn't get to you tonight because I don't have my phone to go and I know my producers are yelling. I'll get to the super chats tomorrow. But outside of that, us being here, the 900 people who are here, and the 10, I don't know, 100, 200, 300, 400,000, millions of people who are watching streams right now, just the mere fact that you're watching a stream is generating money for these tech companies. So I don't care if you never work another day in your life. You watching content online, exchanging your data, you're giving away your data. That is one of the most valuable assets that anybody has. In fact, you should be paid. Social media companies need to pay their users because the only way social media companies make money is off of your data. So your participation alone generates wealth. Oh, by the way, you work. So your labor is generating wealth. Oh, by the way, we are some consuming ass people. Pam, people, not the N-word. We're some consuming ass people. Economy is 75% consumer. So they're making money off of your participation. They're making money off of your labor. They're making money off of your consumption. Oh, don't forget your taxes, state, local, federal. Whether you pay income or not, you're paying local taxes, sales taxes. You're paying these fines and tickets that you get. That's just another form of taxes. So they're making money off of you at every single turn. And we generate enough wealth with everything that you do to ensure that every person in this country, basically on the face of this planet, can have a place to stay, can have food to eat, can have an education through college, can have a doctor, and can have a wage. We literally make enough wealth to do all that. And oh, by the way, we can still have billionaires. And I'm not saying that because I give a shit about billionaires, because the other option for them is not really one that history has ever boded well for. You guys are morons. You really think you're going to get away with this for much longer?